How's it going, guys? My name's Inflameboy and welcome back to Elder Scrolls. This is episode 28 and welcome to Imperial City. This is the first video that I've done since Imperial City has come out, and to be fair, it's sort of mixed between. I was a bit annoyed with it initially, starting to get into the swing of it. If you are finding it's quite difficult and annoying, stick with it for a bit. You'll start to get used to the whole concept of the whole DLC. Obviously, the most annoying part is trying to farm these Telvar stones and at the same time not dying to enemies, players, because you end up losing 80% of your stones. So yeah, this is the sewer. This is the main base, guys. This is where you will appear when you first enter Imperial City. Obviously, the only way to enter Imperial City is going via Cyrodiil. There's these little markers here, pretty much one on each side, close to each alliance. So there is a fair chance of just being able to get there without too much trouble. I don't think I've really had much trouble getting to Imperial City. Right, this episode, guys, is really going to be really long. I'm going to be talking a lot. Obviously, there's a lot to cover. The patch was absolutely huge. If you haven't read through the patch notes yet, I would recommend doing so. I will leave a link to those patch notes in the description so that you can read it. Typically, I don't do sort of basic guides or anything. My Let's Plays are usually just random, just me doing just stuff in general, just watching the progression of my character. But obviously, Imperial City needs a good mention. It needs some sort of breakdown. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. But there are plenty of other guides if you want certain ways to farm stuff or anything like that. So I have wrote down a list of what I need to cover. Obviously, because when I do videos, I always forget like stuff to mention. So Imperial City, this is the first thing I wrote down. I wrote down zones here. Oh dear. So Imperial City has two different sections. You obviously have the part where you start, which is the sewers. The sewers is absolutely huge. Ebenheart is this side, Daggerfall is this side, and Old Merry Dominion is this side. Now, this is probably the easiest way to farm Telvar stones, and probably the most safest way is to do it in the sewers. That doesn't mean you're not necessarily going to come across players. You will do that, possibly Zergs as well, but it's much safer than farming upstairs because you're always going to come across players upstairs. In the sewers is probably the best way to farm Telvar stones. I was farming around here, this section here. This is full of ghosts, and it's great for Dragonites because most of the enemies here are ranged, and you just use reflect scales, and it absolutely hammers them. Really good place to farm that. But we're not going on to Telvar stones just yet. I'm not going to talk about that. No. The next section is this. This is Upper Imperial City. Now they're split into 6 different sections. Now each section has a quest which I have actually completed. For example, this one, what's that? You stole an ancient key from Molag Bal and left a fake key. Now these quests, they're one time only. Some of them you can do solo, some of them you need a group. But once you've completed them, there are quests in place to replace them, which are repeatable, and you can get a small amount of Telvar stones in a bag, which you can farm each day. What have I wrote down next? Bosses. Oh, bosses. This has probably got to be one of the most annoying thing about Imperial City. The grief bosses, I'd like to refer them to. Randomly dotted around like certain areas like here, and obviously on this side as well, and obviously the centre. There are random bosses that roam around. These bosses are absolutely bonkers. They hit like a massive arse. They're really annoying and they keep going around in a circle. You're constantly bumping into them. This is why I enjoyed farming this spot, because there wasn't any bosses there when I was farming that spot. These bosses, you probably need a big, like a really good organised group of possibly about 12 to kill them. There are other bosses as well, but they're much easier, like this one for example. I picked the worst one to pronounce. This one for example, Ebral the Betrayer, much easier. The same goes for up top. There's random bosses that just walk around throwing down massive AoE, absolutely just ruining a good sort of alliance versus alliance fight and stuff like that. But sometimes they are really good to use. Like sometimes I'll petrify someone when the boss is right next to them, or I'll talons them so they can't move, and then they get absolutely raped by a boss. So they are annoying, but they can be put to use. Right, what have I wrote down next? Vault trophies. Right, in each of these 6 sections, I'll just show you how to get to these sections first. And trust me to go the completely wrong way. I am still using my Magicka based DK build. I have created a new Dragon Knight, which is a red guard, and he's going to be my stamina DK. I had a little relapse the other day and I spent quite a bit of money respecking, went stamina, ran around in stamina for a bit, absolutely like whacking people down. It was so fun. Problem is stamina regen was absolutely appalling. Survivability not as good as this build. But so I spent even more money and went back to Magicka. So I'm a bit low on money now. How much have I got? 212. Okay, so not so bad. So this is where you come to get to each district. They all each have a ladder, and you can go straight there. Now these trophy vaults. Let me just check one thing. Let me just zoom out. Memorial District. Let's go to the Memorial District, because I have 60 of a certain trophy. Here we go. Alright, so we're in the Memorial District now. The only thing really noticeable since the update is loading screens are absolutely ridiculous. Really long. Stupidly long. Anyway, so each district has a vault. And I've gone in the completely wrong one. Never mind. So this vault, for example, is the Bone Shard Vault, and over here we've got the Ethereal Vault. There are other vaults here, but we can't see them for some reason. Monstrous Tooth, Legionary. What's this one? Planet Armor. That's the one we need to go to. So when you're killing like enemies, here's a blues look. Typically camping right outside our spawn. So when you're killing enemies, you have a chance of getting these new items dropped, which are called, they're sort of like trophies. Now you have to collect 60, and then you turn them, use when interacting with a trophy vault entrance. So once you collect 60, you can then go to a trophy vault and unlock the door, and then there is a chest inside. Now I haven't actually unlocked one yet. I was waiting with these till I was recording to go and open it, and then have a look. So Planet Armor is dropped from usually most Daedra enemies and Izivikin. Have I pronounced that right? Zivkin, or whatever you call them. That's what drops most of them. Monstrous Tooth are usually dropped from Ogrims, Grievous Twilights, Daedroth. Mark of the Legion. There are some places in here where there's some enemies called Zero Legion or something. They drop them. What else we got? Dark Ether, you know that place I was talking about before with the ghosts in the sewers. That's a good place to farm that from ghosts. Bone Shard is from skeletons. Bloody Claws are from stuff like scamps and I think clanfers and stuff like that. So we want to get to that vault over there because I've got 60 planet armor. Unfortunately I've got to avoid these blues. Right, so here we go. We've got 60, so we should be able to go in. There we go. This is the first time I've actually been in this place. So apparently I should have the planner key. Has it converted itself? Yes. So it automatically converts itself when you open the door. So let's see if we're lucky. Racial motive 7. Exhibiting helmets. Mace of Endurance, Great Sword of Endurance. This is a new set that's come out. There's 3 sets that I want to get hold of. I don't know what this is. Exhibiting helmets. Alright. I wonder if that's one of the... Oh, it's a new style. So I've got the helmet. Nice one. Not that I really craft anything. Anyway, this new set, there's endurance, there's agility, and there's willpower. And there are 3-piece set. Endurance has the stamina recovery. Willpower has spell damage and max magicka. And agility has max stamina and weapon damage. They can come in rings and necklaces. It is a set that I want to get to replace Cyrodiil light rings. But that isn't the only new set. There is also the things that you can buy with Telvar stones. Let me just bring up my notes again. Yeah, we're going on to Telvar stones now. Basically, I don't even know where to start with this, to be honest. There's a new currency called Telvar stones. Now, the easiest way to farm these is by killing mobs and stuff. If you're on your own, a single normal mob will give you 4 Telvar stones. So there's some here, some normal mobs here. So I should get 12 really from this. I'm gonna let her just kill herself. Watch this. Watch. Are you watching? Reflect. There you go. Absolutely love that skill. Oh. So I got 4 from each of them. Now, once you get to 100 Telvar stones carried, you double the amount of Telvar stones you get from mobs. This is from mobs only, not from players, by the way. Once you get 1,000 Telvar stones, you triple that. And once you get 10,000 stones, you quadruple it. Now, obviously, if you die to a mob, you lose 10% of the stones that are in your bag. If you die to a player, you lose 80%. You can farm Telvar stones from players, but the thing is, if you're with a large group and you all hit the player, the amount of stones that he has on that person will be split amongst you. Same is with oh hello. Same is with I tried to reflect that shit then. He's got the Phoenix set on him. There we go. 120 Telvar stones he was carrying. Well, not actually. He was probably carrying about 140, 160. And I ended up getting 120 of his stones. Nice amount. But it's not the most simplest way to farm stones. And also now, because I got over 100, I now get double the amount of stones from mobs. So from their mobs I kill with 4, I would have got 8 each. If you have 1,000, you would get 12 each. So the more stones you have on you, the more you get. It's sort of risk versus reward. You don't really want to carry stones around with you. It's a really risky. Now, let's say you're up top here and you have accumulated somehow 1,000 stones. Now you want to get back to the base because you need to get to the bank to store them to make them safe so you don't lose them when you die. There's 4 options that you can go with to get back to the base and get those stones stored. The first one is probably the most easiest and simplest way, is to go and get yourself killed by mobs. Now I know that seems odd, I know it sounds weird, but the thing is, if you get yourself killed by mobs, there we go, come on, there we go, you lose 10% of your stones, which, trust me, is a lot better than losing 80%. You're going to be pissed off if you have 1,000 stones and you lose 800 of them, because you wanted to risk trying to get back a more legitimate way. So once you've respawned, you can go down here and back into your base and store whatever you have left. So I lost 14. There's not much loss, to be honest. If you have 1,000, you'll lose 100. It's hardly anything really compared to what you could lose. That's one option. So the second option is to log out. Obviously, because we're in Cyrodiil, if you log out for too long, you will be booted out of Cyrodiil. So if you log out, if you have, I don't know, 10,000 stones on you and you log out, you leave it for 10-15 minutes, I'm not too sure how long it is, but you log out for long enough so that it boots you out of Cyrodiil, you will end up back in a safe place, and then all you have to do is rejoin the campaign. Now the only problem with that is if you've got a long wait to get back into campaign, it's really tedious. I mean, sometimes there can be a wait times of about 2 hours to get in the most popular campaigns. But it's another option if you want to get out safe. If you have a shitload of stones on you and you want to make it certain that you get out safe, logging out is another option. Third option. In each of these 6 points, there are sewer entrances. Alright? Now, each of the sewer entrances leads to a different point in the sewers beneath. Now, you need to find out which sewer entrances are the closest to your base. Now, I've worked it out. The 2 closest points to my base is the Arena District and I think it's the Memorial District. Yeah. I think it's the Memorial District. They're the 2 closest sewer entrances to my base. So if I want to try and risk it and go through the sewers, I'll do it that way. To be honest though, probably just quicker, just dying to a mob and just losing 10%. Now the last option, and this is the legitimate option, if I can find it, these consumables, Sigil of Imperial Retreats. I'll quickly just show you where to buy them. Okay, so this is what I meant by the sewer entrances. So there's a ladder to the arena and a ladder to Memorial, and there's also these ones, the nobles and stuff like that. So you need to be careful which sewer entrances you go into. Make sure you go in the one closest to your base. Obviously we're back in the base now, so if you want to store Telvar stones, you need to go on over to the bank, which is over here, and deposit Telvar stones just like this. So there's 100 straight in. I've got 5,600 now. I have spent a few already. So the final option, which we was just talking about before I had to just go into the base, is the Sigil of Imperial Retreat. And this can be bought over here. I'm going to quickly show you. Come on. Come on. Come on, there we go. And this little dude over here. He sells a lot of stuff, all for Telvar stones. A lot of the crafting material, we'll get into that in a minute. Some crafting style stuff. And he sells this, which is a Sigil Imperial Tree, and it costs 10k alliance points. Don't get that confused with Telvar stones. That is alliance points. It's a good thing to spend alliance points on if you find that you don't really spend it. I mean, I got 600k there. Don't really spend it. So buying one of them, use that. It does break you out of stealth. It does take a little bit of time to cast it, but it brings you straight back to the base so you can store your tokens. I used one earlier because I found myself right in the center here with about 3,000 stones on me, and thought, oh shit, there's going to be a large Zerg coming to that center bit in a minute to kill the bosses in the middle there. So I quickly used that and got back to base, stored them. Right, the other things you can spend Telvar stones on, we've talked about how to get them, we've talked about how to store them safely. I'll tell you what, this is a really good farming spot for stones because a lot of elites here, the wraiths, and they obviously drop a lot of stones each, and the dragon knights can reflect them and kill them really quick. But anyway, this is some things to spend your money on. Now, I've already bought a 5-piece set of the Phoenix armor, just because I wanted to go light armor, because light armor's gone from a quarter armor to half now, so it's a bit more sustainable wearing light armor. And this is the Phoenix set, so if I die, instead I become immune to all negative effects and healing for 3 seconds. When the effect ends, you heal yourself for 16k and explode for 8,500 flame damage. There's a cooldown of 10 minutes, which is a lot. We saw that guy earlier using Phoenix, because I had to kill him twice, essentially. Now I decided, because I had shitty light armor, martial knowledge and stuff, which was green, I thought I'd buy the Vet 15 stuff because it's 1,000 stones each, so it cost me 5k stones. So I was going to do that, and then slowly get myself each of the Vet 16 pieces, and replace my Vet 15. Now they cost 10k tokens each, so it'll take a bit of farming, but first of all I'll buy that one and then replace my other one, and then eventually I'll have a full set of Vet 16 at purple. Now unfortunately these are all impenetrable, pretty good for PvP, not so good for PvE because it's not certain whether mobs actually crit that much, so it's not that great, to be honest. So what I was going to do then, I'm not going to improve those purple items. What I'm going to do, once I've got the full set of Vet 16 Phoenix, I'm going to buy these boxes. Now these boxes, you get a piece of the Phoenix armor set, but it comes with a random trait. So you could get impenetrable, you could get divines, and if I get a divines piece, I'll replace that with another piece and I'll upgrade it to yellow. And that will be my sort of end game for the moment. There is also some other gear that's dropped from the new dungeons and stuff. There are other sets out there, but these are the ones that you can buy. These are the ones that you can work towards. I'm not too sure what's in that. I think that's other pieces. That's basically it. Yeah, that's just to say that's Vet 15 stuff. I think we've gone through 12 our stones enough. I'm hammering on. I don't want this video to be too long, so we'll quickly get to crafting. Crafting has absolutely gone absolutely fucking bonkers. That's, pardon the language. I don't get it. I really don't get why they've done this. For example, I will show you this. Obviously there's new crafting material that you need to acquire to craft stuff, which is fine, which is, you know, yeah, completely understandable. It's called rubidite ore. Now to craft Vet 15 stuff, it costs 11 rubidite ore, which is fine, pretty nice, you know. I'm just researching this Nernhound. I need to craft a new sword, but I'm just researching that. It's got another 14 days on it or something. But to craft Vet 16 stuff, it costs 110 rubidite ore. What is that about? To craft Vet 16, it costs 110. Chest piece, 150. Boots, 130. Now the only way to get rubidite ore is farming armor and deconstructing them. I don't think I think I've deconstructed all that I've picked up so far today. But yeah, that is the only way to get leather, ingots, and wood and silk, is to deconstruct items that you get dropped. Items of Vet 15 and Vet 16 quality. There is no nodes that you can farm. There is nothing like that. You can get armor or weapons from rewards for the worthy. You can get them from dungeons, which are scaled up. Dungeons are a completely different story. For some reason they're only dropping Vet 14 monster helmets, even though the dungeon is at Vet 16. Really weird. Don't really want to go into that, but this is the only way to get these materials, which makes it a massive grind. I've already got 150 of them. I am going to craft Torug's Pact sword and shield. Unfortunately I just have to wait for Nernhound to be researched for my sword. and then I'll get into it. Now you can buy all these materials as well from the merchant, which I showed you earlier, but it costs 100 tokens each, which is extremely expensive, extremely. And I think that would do it. That'll be it for crafting. Crafting is going to take ages. I don't really want to get into the new styles, the glass and the Exivkin. You just saw me get the Exivkin helmets. But I don't really want to get into that. I haven't researched it enough. If you want to find out, I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there. And that's about it, guys. I finished talking. The only other thing I wanted to mention is PvP has taken a massive sort of nerf, which everybody's feeling the effects of. It's taken a huge amount of time to sort of work out or get used to it even, sorry. But damage taken is now reduced by 50% from 30. It used to be 30%. Healing is now 50%. Damage shield, I believe, is a new reduction, which, thank God, has been reduced by 50%. Thank God they finally did that, because sources were so difficult to kill. They just stacked the shields, but now they've been reduced by 50% as well. So everybody's feeling the effects. You can't just sort of one bang anybody anymore. We'll see what happens when people start getting like Top Gear stuff and all the end game stuff. We'll see what happens then. But I'm enjoying the fact that it's been nerfed slightly. I'm a little bit more tanky. Obviously there is no stamina regeneration now when you're blocking, so timing block is extremely important, so as to not to sort of reduce your stamina regen. So if you see a wrecking blow coming, block quickly and then let go. See another wrecking blow coming, block quickly and then let go. You see another wrecking blow coming, block quickly and then let go. If you see another wrecking blow coming, fuck that, you're screwed. You got no more stamina left, and the guy is just going to hammer on you now because you're all over the floor. So that's me having a go at wrecking blow spammers. But I think we've talked enough about Imperial City for today. I'm going to go and farm more Telvar stones and get that Phoenix gear. Just got to wait for Nernhound to craft and to get those these thingy pieces. Where are they? These pieces. I need to get all these again. I got some nice loot from that, but I want willpower stuff. I want the necklace and 2 rings of willpower. So that's it from me for now, guys. If you feel like I missed something, I probably have. I miss something all the time. I think the patch was absolutely huge, so you can't blame me. But if I have, and you have a question, just leave it in the comment. I will be watching this video closely. Hopefully I've helped you guys out and sort of given you a few tips and stuff. And I'll see you guys very soon. So take care for now, guys. Bye bye.